Scott, we're gonna start without Angela, just go through the consent stuff.
And David, you have the camera.
It'll be at 6 o'clock. We're gonna bring the February 14th, 2023 meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. Is there anybody here wishes to speak about something that's not on the agenda? Come on up and say your name and address, sir, for the record.
Kevin McCahan, 5 Pinecrest Drive.
Welcome. Oh, there we go.
About that, yes. So yeah, I just wanted to bring up, I had emailed Dave a question that I was hoping to bring to the board tonight, but I didn't make it on the agenda. So both from that, the actual question and also from that process, just had a question on that. So, I mean, the question was, I know last time we had talked back and forth about the town council's opinion. So I put in a right to know request, it was declined. And then I had just asked Dave if the board would consider releasing that opinion or any additional information. And I had asked if that could be posed to the board, whether you answer tonight or consider it or whatever, that was the request. So,
yeah. And that was a request for council's opinion.
Yeah.
That we discussed at the last meeting.
Yep.
If anybody has a motion to do such, we can, if it gets a second, we would address it. Is there a motion at this time?
I'm not at liberty to disclose our client or violate our client attorney privilege. Just how that works. I mean, you two are lawyers, so I'm not a lawyer here. So.
Kevin, you're happy to bring it up again when we have a full board?
okay.
And say it, so you're not limited on bringing it up again, but
yeah,
without a motion from one of the select board members in a second, then we would need to take it to a vote, but
sure.
Feel free to, Selectman Mike Wayne is out with an illness. Angela will be here at some point tonight, but she's caught up with her state responsibilities.
So I think just one more thing on that too. I just want to bring up that this is it's trying to settle who has ownership of a piece of property. But I want to be clear that it's not the residents trying to take property from the town or the town trying to keep property from the residents. And also it's not a type of legal action where, anybody's going to be able to, make claims of millions of dollars of damages. So it's fine if that's the way it's going to go. I've just been trying to make every effort to resolve it without needing to exercise those rights, because I think it's something that could be talked through. And I think it's unfortunate that hasn't really seemed to happen. So I just put that out there. And then the other piece was just that I had sent the email to Dave last Wednesday and specifically asked if, the question could be posed to the board. And it didn't get on the agenda, and it was also not in Dave's town manager's report. So I'm just bringing up the concern of how things are being filtered through to the board or why it, isn't getting on the agenda. And obviously the concern that other things may not be being.
I'm happy to ask Connie right now to put it on next meeting's agenda. We should have a full board then.
Okay.
So
I think that's fine. There's confusion with Dave. So I sent an email. I didn't get a response from Dave saying like, I'll check with the board or, anything about it. And then I noticed it wasn't on the agenda yesterday. So I gave Dave a call. So I'm just trying to make sure that if a resident is sending something to Dave or the board, how do we make sure it gets on there? Because it's a simple question and you guys, have every option to not consider it, yes, no, whatever, just.
Kevin, I think one thing you should be aware of is that the stuff that gets on the agenda generally comes from a select board member and not from you. And so if you want something to get on the agenda, you just text email one of us and just say, hey, do you mind I'm bringing up something for Harry Judd tonight. And so I think that's one way to do it. Or, I think David's certainly capable of saying, yeah, this is a relevant thing and I'll make sure that the board sees it to get it on. I saw your email, the right to know request email. I
saw it.
Everybody did. So I don't think he's hiding this issue. We've all talked about this now several weeks in a row. But if you ever have a question about getting something on, you don't have to come out. Feel free to email me and I'll let you know if I can put it on the agenda or not.
I mean, I put you guys a CC on the email to Dave, but I still don't really know why I didn't get on there, but it's fine.
Yeah, and I
I'll
I wish it would go away too. And despite that we say that, we have a difference of opinion and ultimately, if someone were to allege that our council opinion is right, they'd have to file a lawsuit. We've kind of alleged, we outlined that at the last meeting. That if someone's alleging that they have title to land that we don't believe they have title to, that's how that will get addressed.
Yeah, I think that's disappointing because to me, that kind of indicates that these type of issues, there is no way for a resident to actually resolve this without a lot of money being spent.
There is,
No.
they asked for it and we got twice we went to council and got an opinion that said, no, that it's not his land. And so I think.
But I want to be clear too, this has been turned into Mr. Wheelock's debate and that's not actually what the question is.
I thought we were talking about the land next to Mr. Willis' house.
It's the entire section of that road and that's been clear. I've made that clear in all my communications. I sent a form letter to Dave. I never said anything in there that I'm here, fighting for Spruce to get property back.
I thought you said at the last meeting that the other property had that in their deed.
There's multiple properties that have it in there.
Yeah, but
It
those,
was missed in being added. The developer that developed the property in the 70s didn't pay attention to that. So when that was subdivided, it wasn't done. And in 81, when another subdivision along the same section road was done, it was done correctly. And that's what I sent to you to represent that. Yes, it's not in his deed. I fully agree with you. I 100% understand, but it's not, the town doesn't have a deed for it either. Nobody does. So that's the point. So, yeah, I mean, I wish there could have been more, more engagement with the town manager and more engagement overall on the issue. And I just, I hate to see it. And it always has to be the court system that, figures everything out.
Historically, in my experience, and I'm not speaking for the board, but these are issues that are typically and by state statute and case law resolved by petition of quiet title. They happen every day. They're common. The town's already spent, significant fees with attorneys to review history and stuff. And I get where you're coming from. This is a very complex area of New Hampshire law, but the solution to it with New Hampshire law, in my opinion, is a petition of quiet title. That's the process is all. So, but I'm happy to add it to the next meeting agenda when we have a full board. That's fine.
I mean, if nobody here has interest, I highly doubt that it's going to pass, and I'd rather not come out to the next meeting if I don't absolutely need to. So, but anyway,
come on, Kevin, you're starting to be a fixture here.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get you guys sorted me one of those. But no, I appreciate it, and from now on, I'll make sure to include one of you guys directly if I've got an issue.
So you called me before.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'll make sure it's on the agenda as long as it's within 24 hours. I think is the requirement.
I'll hold you to it.
And also, if somebody asks me to put something on the agenda, I literally just take that email forward to Tanya and say, please put it on. Because
Fair enough.
I think I did it last time when you called me.
I guess I had already talked to Dave via the right to know request. So then I sent it to him and I put the board in copy, and I guess I was just thinking that it would make its way on. So I was surprised when it wasn't on there.
The email, I saw the email about the right to know request. And then I think I saw the email that you sent to David that we were CC'd on.
Yeah.
And I assumed David was going to address the board at the next meeting about the request. Is typically how some of those requests go. But anytime I've done it, you've called me.
I know.
I've called that afternoon, on a late Friday afternoon, and said, hey, Kevin wants this on the agenda, put it on the agenda.
Got it.
I'm happy to do that, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Not to hold you up on down.
No worries.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'm the only one that can second. Anybody? Second.
All right. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Tanya, can you note that somewhere in the record when Angela shows up that she got here tonight?
Yeah.
Show mine as being the excused absence.
Yeah.
Awesome. Town manager's report.
Yes, I know we discussed, I gave the board a heads up that we're looking at a need to amend both TIF plans. And we would have to have been done at town meeting. Subsequent to that, or after that, we have been discussing these, and Karen and I have talked about them, and it's not crucial that these changes be made immediately, under kind of short notice, so, but there do need to be amendments made to make those work. And what happened was, the TIF was approved 5 years ago. We haven't had any major projects up until, flatly knocking on the door. And what we see is there's some flaws in how it's written. So the South Bow TIF is less, it's a little shorter type plan, but we need to make adjustments so it'll work financially. For example, there's a 20-year, TIF is done in 20 years, it's dissolved. But if you got to do a project now, that would mean you'd have to pay off your bond in 15 years, 14 years. So, but they don't need, there's no rush for those right now, so we can work on them and have it ready for next summer, fall. The department awards and swearing in ceremony was last night. Another good event. Good to see the guys come out, and you see the fire guys that are there too, supporting them. So
Had a lot of family with them.
A lot of family.
Room.
yeah,
Well attended.
yeah, which is great because you get a chance to meet the parents, typically the parents of these young people who are stepping up and
For one of our
to serve as a police
officers,
officer.
I found out, I knew her dad and her grandfather was there,
Oh,
I
yeah,
knew him from Hooksett.
yeah.
It was pretty neat.
And then I do have a couple others. Carrie, McCahan, Ginger, and Mike, the building inspector, and I did an online demonstration on some permitting and planning and zoning application management software. And it would go a long way to organizing what goes on down there. Reduction of paper. I mean, everything will be instantly logged in.
So can I clarify?
Yeah.
When you say you're utilizing an online service or you did an online presentation?
Oh, no, they did a presentation of the service.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, all right, yeah, because when you started
Yeah, they
talking,
did.
I thought,
Yeah,
we're gonna go.
Yeah, they did a demonstration, so they're working up some of the pricing, we're looking at just the modules, again, to do building permitting and planning and zoning process, but I mean, once you start punching stuff in, you don't have to go back. It creates the agenda,
Well, will this tie into what Angela was working on with, public's access to this?
oh, yeah, this, and actually, this is a good step, even more so than Docstar, because that's gonna be more complicated still. But it's a great step toward it, because the residents will be able to look in, they don't have to register as a user, there's certain things that we ought to see. So I assume we're gonna get a lot less calls, which we're happy to answer and work with the public. But we'll get calls all the time, like, what's this guy building next door to me? You gotta go talk to Mike, they can get right in there and see exactly what's going on. They throughout all the steps of the permit process, contractors can apply online, they still have to come in with a check, but and the planning and zoning, like I said, as soon as you start punching things in, it'll create your abutters list automatically. You do whatever our circle is, within X, it'll do the circle, spits out
Does this allow us to scan in stuff already underway?
that's gonna be part of the Docstar thing, and we're gonna start with it downstairs, and that's why we have it, because there's a lot of stuff to go through. But this will be at least one of them, like Carrie said, let's at least start out with this and we can start culling through the other stuff that's there. And I know we have a lot of things that either can be just scanned or that just don't need to be held on. So I'm excited about that, and Carrie is, and I think it's a good way to get that project started downstairs.
And will we be able to kind of preview what this program is? The entire board be able to preview?
Yeah, somehow where I can get you the information on, where there's tons of demonstration videos if they have to, but yeah, we'll get,
So who demoed it?
this company that,
No, who demoed it from our side?
Ginger.
oh, nobody, watched it, it was, Ginger, Terry, Ginger, the AA, and Mike, the three people that will be using it, or using it the most.
And what's the name of that again?
It's like Cloud Permit or something. I'll give you the information. They're one town in New Hampshire, and so they're trying to work their way. They've done some large cities, and so they're gonna be able to kind of tweak it down a little bit for us too, to keep it a little simpler at this point. Outstanding engineering invoice. We met with the developer. This is the one for Sawmill Road.
Yep.
We agreed to, and I don't know if you can bring us up, man, we agreed, or in principle agreed that it would be divided into thirds. So it'd be 1/3 town, 1/3 Gale, and 1/3 Cherry Hill. But I think the gist of our discussion was we all own pieces of it. It's not just the engineer. The engineer said, I'll eat 1/3. And John Lango from Cherry Hill was happy with that.
Very happy with the resolution that we came to.
Oh,
They
great.
were all happy. Gail was happy.
Of course, Gail was happy. They got 66% of their.
Great.
Trying to keep everybody happy with this resolution. So I think it went actually rather well, to be honest with you. They were all very happy that we stepped forward and did our thing.
And we know we have processes here, subdivision regs that need to be changed.
Yeah.
Lots of processes that need to be running for the modern age. Webinar tomorrow I'm attending. There's another round of congressionally directed funding available. Senator Shaheen's putting on a webinar similar to one I attended. So I'm hoping to pick up some more tips on how we can successfully get it. I'm looking at, I put in for the whole water extension. I think it's that obviously they try to divide it into bits and pieces. So I may take the Bow Junction water angle and use that it's to fix bad water,
I'm hearing rumors we're making headway on the water portion of Concord.
That is true.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, we have a tentative agreement that they want to finish the loop from Hall Street over to T-Bones.
Wow, that far?
Well, it's really not that far. It only services, I think, businesses, but tentatively, with the mayor, that I have a verbal agreement that will be on the FPAC meeting in March, not in February, because they didn't meet January. So,
So that gets water to Proponi?
it's water to Prony, Blue Seal, all those businesses up there. So pretty excited about it. I mean, I think the largest impact of the whole thing is this extension from Hooksett. Now we don't have to drill under 93, which is going to save the town millions of dollars. So I'm not as apprehensive as I have been in the past. I really think we got it done now, but until it happens, I don't want to jinx myself. I'm kind of excited that we're able to get that done. I know a lot of people worked on that for years.
And there's some good also other offshoots of that is, and they haven't looked at it yet, but I raised a question in a different meeting with Dubois and King. Does that affect the tank, the need for the tank, or the size of the tank, because from what I recall, when they were designing it, or when they are designing it, that was to provide adequate pressure for fire protection in Bow Junction.
Right.
So it'd be great if we don't need that either.
It'd be great if we can eliminate
We
it.
just need a booster somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
So we start chipping away at that $20 million estimate. If we could knock 4 or 5 out of there, it starts making more sense.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Hoping.
So again, I'm gonna look at that. If you think of any other projects that may work on this, but they do like to do a little bit here, a little bit there, but they do, through these, she got a big wad of funds for like PFAS at airport base, the old base, so.
But no, we have the MBTEs, which are.
Yeah,
the PFAS in the old.
They're big, yeah. And also potentially our water treatment needs at the plant.
Are those grants funds just limited to those type of projects? Because
Well, these are, they have a whole list of examples on her,
how about new school buildings?
Or what
Maybe you
the-
should tip off the school
Yeah.
about these grants monies that are available.
He was on the email.
Oh, you will?
Oh, yeah, we'll go check it out. Good.
Yeah, because if they should be applying too, right? That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, it's a little broader than a specific grant. It's kind of, so it's hard to kind of, you know, there's no point system, I don't think that she uses or often uses, so it's kind of hard to. And when I did the last one, I did talk to some of her staff trying to steer it toward also which committee in Congress it goes to for consideration, so.
Gotcha.
That's all I had. Oh, any questions? Over. Yep.
Any questions for Dave on the town manager's report?
Bruce, if you'd let me, I have two things I'd like to address.
Yeah, absolutely.
First, I'd recommend that we cancel the meeting for 2 weeks. That happens to be the middle school vacation week, and I know some of us are traveling with family that week. I don't believe it's possible that we could have a quorum, so I think we need to deal with that on the record.
I know I won't be available for that meeting.
I just have to, on that, is there a way we could change the date? Pick a night next week, or we could Zoom or something with the moderator, because he wants to meet with the board prior to, remember to go over the warrant article. Or like on March 7th or something, just a meeting just to do that.
Yeah, I'm happy to make myself available for a digital meeting or something.
Yeah.
What's everybody's availability next week? Do you have any time next week?
That's a good week for me.
Yeah, just see if you guys can come up with some, and then I'll check, you know, with his schedule, and again, if it's easier to.
I can do either Tuesday or the Wednesday, 21st and 22nd.
And the thing is
Do you have a day, Angela, that works better for you?
The 21st would work better. Tuesday
I can do that.
would be better.
We'll still need 3 in person.
Right, I can come in person on the 23rd.
21st or
21st, you said 21st.
Yeah, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I can do that.
Why don't we just schedule a meeting for next Tuesday, and
Yeah,
that way we don't have a month without a meeting,
Yeah, there might be some things we.
because we're also gonna have to cancel a meeting for
March
election.
election.
yeah, let's do that. We'll move it, not cancel, let's move it
So
to.
we're gonna schedule a meeting for next Tuesday, Tanya. Only agenda item at this point is Peter Anthony. Second is, in everyone's packet, there is a draft warrant article that I received from a constituent. Harry Judd, he thinks that this is he'd like us to consider this warrant article. So that if the Renewable Energy Task Force Group Committee came up with an RP this year, that we would have some authority to actually enter into a lease and wouldn't have to wait until town meeting 24. So I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this warrant article that is included at town meeting, subject to Eric from DTC's edits as they were, well, obviously need to refer to the lots appropriately. Subject to Eric edits on those lots.
Second that.
Any discussion on it?
Isn't this putting the cart in front of the horse? We don't even have.
All it's saying is that if we would get something that was zero cost to the town, that we could enter into a lease. It is, but otherwise we would.
My only concern is that this 2 years ago, I thought we did the similar thing with the cell tower and got our heads handed to us because we did. Does the solar committee, you must know, Angela, does the solar committee, do they have like information that they could present? Because we got our heads handed to us when we asked for the exact same authority for a cell tower 2 years ago. And they wanted to know the exact, or at least the exact lot, what it was gonna look like, all this detail, and basically crucified us because we didn't have those answers. And now we're about to do the same thing. And as far as I know, no one's come back to us from the solar committee to say, hey, this is where we are, this is what we're thinking.
I don't think they have that answer yet, Bruce, and I think I hope the difference is, one, this isn't 200 feet tall. And two, that was very late, as you remember, very late in the meeting. After there was some representations made that meeting was going to end at 11, I believe.
Yeah.
And people left. And so, if it doesn't pass, I brought a poem, it didn't pass.
And the Energy Committee has identified specific locations to be considered in the RFP process. None of which are on private land, they're on town land. It's something that is potentially saving the town money. So as far as a presentation, I don't know that they quite have a presentation, but they do have specific sites that they are requesting.
I assume those are the 3 sites listed in here. But my own concern was, I mean, we get our head handed to us, don't come to us with a warrant article without doing all the your legwork ahead of time. That's my concern.
I think this is just a, just in case. And of course, anything that we get in through the RFP process would have to be reviewed by this board, by the town manager. And as Chris said, you know, I think with this particular warrant article, because it comes before getting proposals, I think it would be the expectation that the costs of the town would be minimal or nothing. You know, we'd be looking at, I don't know. I don't know what they are expecting, but that there would be enough offset for any potential costs of the town.
You know, extending your comment, Bruce, that was the problem that year with that cell tower warrant article, was that was anywhere on town land. And that's why it failed. Yeah, that's where all the people that came to me and said, where is anywhere on town land gonna be? So I believe that's why that one failed. I mean, I realize it's a little bit more specific, but.
Oh, sorry.
So, and I don't know if I made the whole board aware or the full board, but Jessica had submitted a draft article to me. And she and I were working on it, trying to see again, to bring it to the board to see, instead of having to miss a year or a year and a half. So she had drawn one up that I then sent to, copied her, we sent to the mayor, asked him to look at it, see if it would work. And the problem with what was there was, I guess, 2 things. It appeared to be way too broad. And there were a few other things. The concern is, Angela, is the wording has to be just right, because the town meeting the select would have to get the proper wording and authority to even sit down with someone and lease it. So, you know, one of his concerns with the article that Jessica and I worked on was, you know, if you were going to come with a lease longer, you'd have to go back to town meeting and identify specific parcels. And so he's going to look at this one. Yeah, and I sent that to him.
I would think that if there was anything that was gonna be longer than 35 years, that it would go back.
And I don't think it can anyway. The statute allows you to, the town meeting can pick a day, but there's still a cap. I think it's 35, but.
So how much time do we have to make a decision on the warrant article?
No, we're still good for, because
Are we good till the next meeting?
it's our last day of the
21st? Are we good to our next meeting?
Yeah,
So we can have Eric look at this language
Maybe
and
we
tweak
can.
it and look at it next meeting?
So now we have 2 agenda items.
Does waiting affect the printing of the town report, because doesn't the warrant article go with the budget that goes in the town report? That would be my own concern, because we're going.
yeah, but if we get the answer, we're close to bumping up against that, but if we could
Final
finalize
answer by next.
and sign it by the 21st, on the 21st.
Seems to me that we ought to have Eric give us the right language, because Chris, you're saying you wanted to review the language, right?
Well, I made a motion that authorized him to take this and make it legal for us. So
I'd just like to see what he says is
Yeah.
legal, that's all.
Chris, is the school vacations of 26th through.
Our last.
Yeah.
Okay, because typically we try to post it the Friday before they let out, so
So if we give you.
we don't need to post the warrant until the 24th, so we have time.
So can you just to be clear, can you make sure this gets to
Oh,
Eric?
I already,
And Eric, but make sure Eric knows
we are voting on his version of this warrant.
next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So and you're already gonna put that on the agenda?
Right.
Cool.
I'm not, I can vote on, put it down.
All right, those were your 2 items. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just have a question. Are there?
Wait a minute.
Sandy
Good
Crystal
name.
on Turkey Drive. Are there specific parcels listed in the warrant article?
There are.
They're described as only an old county would describe them, former town dump, transfer station, and town sand pit and gravel pit.
And on
And
municipal buildings.
They really should be described.
Yeah.
And that's what I want.
You are correct.
There's map and lots.
But that's what we can get finalized for the meeting next Tuesday.
And the other-
To know what we're voting on.
And the other caveat, Sandy, is it excludes out anything that was gifted to the town for job purposes. So that goes around.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from January 24th and
Sorry, Chris, and the formality, there was a motion, a second on the floor, we didn't vote on it, were you gonna withdraw or no? I'd rather not see it go voted down, or it'd be right now it'd be a 2-2 tie.
Maybe you would take a friendly amendment to your motion that we vote on it next Tuesday after we have.
I'll withdraw.
Opinion.
You have to withdraw your second, thank you, sorry, Chris, let me interrupt you.
Now let's go for the,
can I make a motion to approve the minutes from January 24th, 2023 and February 13th, 2023, 22,
Second.
Oh, say that again.
the two sets of minutes.
Sandy Crystal on Turkey Drive. There's one thing I didn't know how, whether it's a clarification to put in the current minutes, but when the, contract for the milfoil was put in there as said milfoil treatment. And actually, it's not milfoil treatment, it's diver removal. And it's approved, it's not an issue from that, but I just thought for in the record, and I know we can't change what was.
Yeah, I think I probably said treatment, unfortunately.
It was the agenda as treatment.
It was.
It's that, so,
So it's more of an eradication
right, it's
by whatever means necessary.
diver removal.
Yeah, right.
You mean scuba diver?
They don't, it's not a scuba diver.
but that's a method of treating it, right?
He just,
He's gonna.
What's that?
But it's a method of treating it.
well, it's not called treatment. They call it a control project. Is what D
Right,
is.
but what the project is doing is treating the condition.
Yeah, it's not considered treatment.
Guys, I tell them that we can't, just because I used the wrong word, then we can't fix that.
The agenda, so.
I just-
We now have clarification into.
Okay, that's,
Ah.
it gets into the minutes,
There you go.
the clarification, that would be fine.
Well, you still don't have if we're also trying to move the December 13th minutes. It still has not been corrected, the motion to go into non-public.
It must have been me, according to Bill, Bruce, it was
Actually,
me.
I know that, I brought up, we need to go into non-public. Whether I made the motion and you seconded it or vice versa, or Mike seconded it. Mike didn't recall. Yes, last time when I was here, you didn't recall. Chris was on the phone in the non-public, so, it's, it's a blank in there. We just know we went into non-public. To discuss
It just
the
attributes the second to me, and so I'm just,
opinion.
because it was a roll, we
We
did,
can clarify the
yeah.
minutes that,
that's-
we don't have good records to confirm, we just know we went and agreed to go in.
You've been right, it was moved in second.
Yeah, we can just put that in without attributing it to you, Angela, that's fine. So can you make that change, Tanya?
And you said Chris' motion was seconded, right? You just say motion was
You
seconded.
say moved in second.
Moved and seconded, yep. On the 24th though, I did have a change. The 24th is where we were talking about like snowmobile trail.
Oh.
Or at least described wrong. From what I
Is that
remember.
the one where she was,
We just got an email, with the minutes from the 30th.
Oh, so that's the one I'm talking about. That's not here, so I'll fix that next time.
Okay.
So with these minutes that I'm all set. Anybody have any other things, Angela? Chris or Matt?
I don't see anything.
So, move to approve them as amended with respect to December 13th.
Aye.
4-0. You've already noted, Mike, if excuse me. Perfect.
David, what do you need on us to just approve the final form of these motions and our recommendations underneath them?
Yeah, and again, my hope had been to have it approved and signed tonight, tomorrow.
Do you
but we have time.
our?
Oh, yeah, no.
What about, we don't need to be from us on 11, 12, and 13?
No.
By petition?
We don't.
I just still wanted to, but, and then so the one additional could be the,
Right, which we'll finalize that at the next meeting.
but all the rest of it, yeah, I just wanted to give you one last.
Can
Yeah.
you remind me when we voted on this?
What's that?
Can you remind me when we voted on the recommendations?
First three through.
During the, okay,
so during the budget
Thank-
process.
thank you, I just.
Yeah. And then the budget committee typically takes their vote after the public hearing, the budget committee, so that's where we got.
Okay, thank you.
So, in number 3, what do you need on the number 3, the back?
Need it for next week.
Yep, the backup dates are 2/22 and 2/29. Meeting with moderator, we had for the 2/28, but we'll figure that out. And then the last question was.
So you're gonna try to get the moderator next Tuesday?
Yeah,
We're doing that next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
He's
what I mean.
updating his notes.
Oh, okay.
And then live stream, the moderator is asked if.
You're talking 3, 22, and 29, right?
That's after town meeting.
Can you,
What's he talking about?
3.
Yeah, we're talking about town meeting
Yeah,
and town meeting
that's-
backup. Yeah.
3 and 3. 3.
Yeah, it's not 2, that's March.
Yeah, we don't want it next week.
No,
It'd be before the meeting. so you
Yeah.
can have it.
that'd be very bad.
That would be good.
okay.
It'll be before Atlanta, I get to stand out. Hope it's a warm day, Atlanta.
But on live stream, Peter's wondering if the
That's
board
the word.
wants to live stream and save the town meeting
Yes,
activities. Because the school district's going to, so the school district just wants to know if they need to set it up. Or if the board wants to set it up.
I would like to say.
yes, we need to live stream.
We did that, I got a lot
We did it
of
the
comments
last
about that
couple.
last year at the town meeting when we live streamed it.
Yeah, a lot of complaints, couldn't hear anything, Mike cut out, Chris was quiet.
Well, a lot of the complaints came from the other classrooms, because
Oh,
they had
right.
troubles internally,
That was-
people at home were here.
2 years
That
ago.
was 2 years ago, yeah.
But
Not
last year we did too.
Yeah, we live streamed it in,
Yeah, but
just in the room.
Yeah,
It
but 2
wasn't
years ago,
bad.
it was really bad.
Yeah, no, it got better last year, but there were still complaints, not from people at home.
All right, so I'll ask that be set up.
Heck, yeah. All right.
And you do know, I think I told you, the school districts moved their meeting from Friday to Thursday, the day after towns.
I know that,
In
but
a
I
row.
don't know why I know that, but I know that.
Yes, so it'll be election day, town meeting business day, school business meeting day.
Yeah.
One,
Boom, boom,
2, 3,
Tanya, are those on our calendars?
Yeah, she's sent them out in backup page too, I think.
All right.
What about, under reports, Dave? Anything of significance?
No, right now it's stabilizing, as I said, with the, stabilize a little bit this year.
Is it working out with the changes with respect to the police
Yeah.
department?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're. Yeah, a lot, it became a 3-step process, I think, just to them, so it works.
Great.
Nothing changed on the ARP, although I'm again trying to see if we can get that permitting software money in there, at least for the first year. I sent, on the welcome to close signs, I sent some samples of other towns that I saw to the app code, he's gonna work up some drawing.
Hey, David, what's that software cost?
Yeah, I don't, You haven't got the
Wait before you consider putting that into our funding. I want to know what it costs.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I want to see a demo of it,
Yeah.
because the last thing I want is a $50,000 a year software that does some cool stuff that we never embrace.
I just want to make sure, let's just expand the way Angela's been talking about.
Yeah.
the
no, I'm just
actual-
thinking that, I'm not even putting it down.
But since you've been looking at that, I don't know if I keep getting these emails from all these different software companies on my town email site saying,
Civic
hey,
Plus.
use our software. I'm like,
Oh,
I haven't been acquiring it, so it must be because you have it.
yeah, I think they've been selling this. Or for me, even when I go to ICMA sells this thing.
Yeah.
well, we never
You got me to
have,
sign it.
we have a Civic Plus rep now.
I didn't sign it, they handed it, I signed it.
So.
What about this one that only three people signed?
Well, Angela hasn't gotten it yet.
Yeah, it's been on our list, Angela.
So many delays because we didn't have anybody.
So we can have the town meeting.
We can start.
Yeah. I mean, after town meeting, it'll be this big
That was just a public.
back.
Do you want me to forward you all the different companies that keep in?
No, we talked to the refresh person, but we gotta get the final proposal. Here's the one.
Yeah.
And so, and then same with Docstar, we need to call their Docstar rep and start to really figure out a game plan, because again, unfortunately, there hadn't been a game plan that was purchased. I thought there was one.
What about the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery fund, David?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about,
That's what we're just talking about.
but we're getting down, so. And I don't think there's anything else,
No changes on outstanding projects?
let's see. Exit one improvements and development, I've been, putting a lot of information on our site and like our community site.
I've been watching that, that's awesome, because a lot of people are happy that all that's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, and what the Business Development Commission is, I know, there have been some thoughts of let's get one more group, but explaining what they do. The information from the hearings, there were some articles in the Monitor, I remember pre and post after it was approved. There was one in the Bow Times, so I've been just kind of trying to get that info out there, because I do think until there's a project in hand, I said it earlier, I don't think, people really know what it would look like or what the intention is.
Yeah.
And it is a mix of residential and commercial, it's just how much of that, and there's a lot of flexibility in that ordinance for the planning board to have those discussions with a developer or the other. So there's still a long way to go with it.
Have we, on the outstanding projects, have we received service of what I was told people are gonna appeal the cell tower, so we've been served on that yet?
No, I'll let everybody know I haven't served yet.
And there's Dubois and King, is that related to the water tank or something, an update?
Yeah, remember we kept this down here?
We don't have an update.
No, this is just,
Holding.
it's a holding. And again, I have an inquiry out, to them with the Concord thing, look at setting up a neighborhood meeting for the one that was snowed out.
Yep.
I mean, there's actual two direct residential abutters, but I've kind of broadened it a little bit to some others. There's commercial across the street.
It's possible,
It's like six property owners that,
as this Concord water thing goes, that may eliminate
that would be
the need and all that.
and again, as Matt said, it would eliminate a need for a boring underneath.
It may eliminate the tower, but it may not eliminate the project, because we still need to get the,
But it eliminates some really expensive portions of the project.
There you go.
Yeah, so the tank's like two.
That's the best news ever.
And so we don't need a warrant article for that this year, right? We didn't.
Oh, no, for when,
We're not at that stage yet, right? Okay, I'm just making sure that that wasn't like skipped over or.
No.
All right. Bottom line, Angela.
Okay, when did we last meet? It feels like it's been a little while. I attended the planning board meeting on February 2nd. It was the third in a row where the meeting went to 11 or later. I just want to applaud the planning board for their thoughtful consideration of the cell tower application over the course of those 3 meetings, those long meetings. The planning board members are volunteers and they often have difficult decisions to make. And I want to thank them for serving our community. Also attended the budget hearing last Thursday. And again, thank you to our volunteers serving on the budget committee, and thank you to, I think there were 2 community members who have placed their name on the ballot for the 2 seats up for election this year. So thank you for stepping up. And Tomorrow, February 15th, is the bond hearing for the BES renovation project. Hope to see everybody there. And next Wednesday, February 22nd, is the Meet the Candidates Night at the Baker Free Library, 6 p.m. Hope all of the candidates will show up. It's a great opportunity to meet everyone who's looking to serve our community. Thank you.
Chris?
I appreciate you all. This board has been great. I wasn't able to attend after attending all the budget committee meetings. I tapped Bruce out to cover me for budget review night. I appreciated that. Also, last night I was able to be at the award ceremony for the police department. Here went well. I wish I could have been there. It would be neat to have heads up of that stuff a little bit more than a couple of days. But thank you guys.
I'm sorry I missed the Winterfest. I understand it went pretty well. I probably could have been here if it came home a little earlier from Pennsylvania, but spending time with Emily's family is more important right now. But I heard it went really well. Thanks to the Men Club for doing the food. I know there's some other organizations that were involved. I saw some emails going back and forth just on the Men's Club side. But thank you to the Men's Club for doing food there. The police ceremony, you know, these are more like the post and cane. These are some of the things we get to do that are more enjoyable. There were a lot of people in attendance last night. A lot of good people. We're finally fully staffed, and now we're losing our resource officer to deployment. But anyways, one of the key notes I want to take out of that is listening to what Harry Handley had to do with that whole dog, animal cruelty thing. And it's what these guys do is amazing. And I actually emailed him about that and said it was hard to hear. So he got a commendation for it. I don't remember exactly what you already got, but so you know, we have a great force right now. Pretty excited about that. I'll echo Angela's sentiments to the planning board for approving the cell tower. That it took a lot of long nights for them to do that, and I appreciate what they do, as well as the budget committee.
I want to thank David and Jeff for at the budget meeting there for answering the one question that came up about the town budget.
We're right on.
That was great for you there to handle that. I'm very grateful for the planning board, and I'm especially grateful that on that last night, our police department responded when the chairman requested some presence there to calm the situation. So hats off to them that they got there so fast and kept a low profile. So the rest not too much issue, but certainly addressed the situation. I want to wish Mike well. He's at home, not feeling too well, and hopefully he's going to recover soon and be back by next Tuesday. But I've been in contact with him and Deb, and he seems to be making some progress. I've learned he's probably more stubborn than I am, but Deborah has him under control, so that's working out well. And I want to thank Chris for all his hard work with the budget committee, because it was easy to step in for him with all the work he had done. I was very happy that when the budget committee voted whether or not to support the $12.4 million bond, it was 5-2 against. And I think that has a lot of credit goes to Chris's hard work to make the whole budget committee look at what it was going to cost the taxpayer. He's done a great job with that the whole time he's been selectman. So thank you for that, Chris. It made it really easy to step in for you. With that, I just thank the whole board because it's nice, and I look forward to spending a hopefully warm day with Elena on election day. And those of you watching at home, come out and vote, whether it's for Elena or myself, just come out and vote because I love to see everybody there. And I'm sure Elena and I will have, I'll bring coffee, Elena, and donuts. You make sure you bring something for lunch, and then we'll be good. Is there a motion?
Motion adjourned.
Oh, no, motion. RSA 91A-3.
We're having one.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't know we had one either.
No, we are.
I
I didn't know where everyone either.
It was in the email.
Yeah. Well, when did the email come? All right, so finish the motion so we can let everybody at home know. We're gonna try to.
I already did it. My motion moving to RSA 91A-3.
And roll call vote. So is there a second?
Second.
A second.